One day, when I came home at lunchtime, I heard a funny noise. Went out to the backyard to find out if it was one of those Charlie boys. Stood there with my neighbor called Peter and the flux capacitor. He told me he built a time machine like one in a film I've seen. Yeah. He said I've been to the Precambrian eon. A lot has changed from that primordial suit. And those really huge sea cucumbers are doing fine, doing fine.
He took me to the past in the flux thing, and I saw everything. Weird fish, and another one, and another one, and another one with insects, as big as a boulder, crawl around the floor. We drove around in the time machine like one in the film I seen. Yeah. He said I've been to the Paleozoic era. A lot has changed and they live underwater. And the predator Ankylosteus is doing fine, doing fine. I took a trip to the Mesozoic era. There I felt a harsh and dry climate. Redwood trees towered over us. Dinosaurs had tried to eat me. I took a trip to the Mesozoic era. No grass was on the ground to hide me. Pterodactyls swooped to get me. My hat was shiny and it scared them. And we were there in a time machine like one in a film I've seen. Yeah. He said I've been to the Mesozoic era. A lot has changed since that asteroid hit them. And that Tyrannosaurus Rex ain't doing fine. Yikes. And when we got back to the present, he told me something cool. We live in an era called Cenozoic, the most productive one, with mammals and reptiles and others. So much life on Earth. He told me all about terrible things, extinctions and ice ages. Yeah, I say I've been to the Cenozoic era. So much has changed from when we first started. And now we've grown to be humans. We're doing fine, doing fine. He said I've been to the year 2019. A lot has changed cause it's been a long time. And your great 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 grandfather is doing fine, doing fine.
The Hadean era began with the formation of the Earth from dust and gas orbiting the Sun about 4.6 billion years ago. During this era, the surface of the Earth was like popular visions about Hades. Oceans of liquid rock, boiling sulfur, and impact craters everywhere. Archean era begins about a billion years after the formation of the Earth, and things changed a lot. Mostly everything has cooled down. Most of the water vapor that was in the air has cooled and condensed to form a global ocean. Even most of the carbon dioxide is gone, having been chemically changed into limestone and clouds and rain. The lava is also mostly cooled to form the ocean floor. The interior of the Earth is still hot and active. Paleozoic, early life era. Well, here we are about 700 million years ago, near the end of the longest time period in geological history. It began about 2 billion years after the formation of the Earth and lasted about another 2 billion years. So what has happened to all this time? There is a lot more land to be seen. In fact, there are 2 supercontinents, one visible across the equator to the side of the Earth and another on the other side.
Paleozoic.
The era began with the Appalachians. Urals resulted from a Paleozoic collision from the lithosphere plates. Collision of plates near the end of the Paleozoic era caused a supercontinent known as Pangaea. The types of organisms and animals were very diverse due to Cambrian explosion. Some creatures include giant bugs, different types of shellfish, leafless vascular plants, air-breathing fish that evolved to become amphibians. This all ended after the mass extinction that occurred. The large forests have many of our irregular plants as well as some different ones that have died out after the mass extinction. Also, lots of marine plants existed during the era. The fossils that are found in the Paleozoic era are found in all types of countries. Most of the fossils were amniotes. Giant bugs dominated the food chain on land. The temperature drastically changed. The mass extinction wiped out 90% of all life on Earth. Most organisms that ever existed in one era, the Dunkelstern was 11,000 pounds. The climate in the Mesozoic era was generally warm and there was less difference in temperature between equatorial and polar latitudes than there is today. The temperature was 25 degrees Celsius with harsh and dry climates. The main geological events were the continents began to move into their present-day configurations. Collateral volcanic arc appeared which was active. Great thickness of rocks were deposited across the southwestern U.S. East coast of U.S. moving 1 to 3 inches a year away from Africa and Europe before dinosaurs. 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit rainfall increased and oceans rose during Jurassic. The types of organisms and animals that lives in this geological era were Tyrannosaurus rex, pterodactyls, mammals like mice, and Purosaurus, Mosasaurs, and Ammonites. The types of plants and vegetation were redwood spruce, pine flowering plants, and monkey puzzle tree. This era had no grass. Giant forests disappeared in the Cretaceous period. The first mammals appeared in the Jurassic, the first birds in the Jurassic, and the first flowering plants in Cretaceous. The climate in the early Cenozoic era was very hot and much more consistent than today. 55.8 million years ago, a big spike in temperature happened, and then it was followed by a long, cold, and dry period. One main geological event was the continents drifted apart from the Paleogene period, which created oceans. Oceans impacted the climate in a major way. The types of organisms and animals at the beginning of the Paleogene period, mainly mammals that survived the Cretaceous period, were thriving. Later on, rodents, small horses, rhinos, elephants appeared. At the end of the period, dogs, cats, and pigs became common. Birds thrived at this time during the Neogen period. Early primates, including early humans, bovinoids, including cattle, sheep, goats, antelope, and gazelle appeared. The Cenozoic era is the most recent era. The Cenozoic era is divided into 3 periods. The Paleogene, 66 million to 23 million years ago. The Neogen, 23 million to 2.6 million years ago. And the Quaternary, 2.6 million years ago to the present. Human came into existence in this era. During this time period, this continents drifted apart. The temperatures of the Cenozoic era changed very drastically.
Cut! Here you have Wyatt Moore as director, editor, and actor. Here is Noda Carmo as actor. And Dadion Colmore as actor and executive producer. Morgan Thompson, who isn't here, he helped a little bit.
Oh. And Emerson Moore as camera person. Hello, Emerson.
Hello.